Good morning, everybody. We're out on the morning walk again. There's Fancy someplace. There she is. She's all over the place this morning. Woo, look at that. Gotta get her untangled. Yeah, I love having her on the walks with me, but some days she just throws me completely off my pace. And we had to turn around a little early because we were walking up the hill and there was a dog out. So we just decided not to interact. But we're on our way home. It's nice and cool out here for being the end of July. You know, man, so much going on. You know, there's a ancient curse that says, "May you live in interesting times." I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm ready to go back to boring times. Seriously. So what are we going to talk about this morning? I thought, in light of Catherine Cheadle, the now former head of the Secret Service stepping down, I thought we would talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now let's get one thing straight right off the bat. I am for diversity, equity, and inclusion, but only if it's in context. And that's the key. So those three words without any context lead to disasters, right? And quite frankly, without context, they're racist as hell. And I'll explain. So what do I mean by in context? So diversity, simply for the sake of diversity, leads to people being put into positions of power that they have absolutely no right being in. I mean, to the point where it's dangerous. Same with equity and inclusivity. You know, if somebody, let's put it this way: you support inclusivity, but do you support it? Do you support a child molester being in charge of a daycare by not allowing that person, if that's what that person wants to do, by not being inclusive enough to allow that person to hold that position? You're being pretty bigoted, all right? But in context, that's a terrible idea, isn't it? It's like putting the fox in charge of the hen house. Same with equity. We want equitable resolutions. Well, what if equitable resolution means men competing in female sports and beating out biological females to win races and powerlifting tournaments and stuff like that? You know, that's not really an equitable outcome. Or here's another one. You know, everybody needs to be able to survive financially. Well, if the equability of that outcome means that you're stealing somebody else's hard-earned produce, hard-earned income, and giving it to somebody who hasn't worked or doesn't work or refuses to work, well, that's not a very equitable outcome, is it? And diversity. You know, this is the big one. This is the one that makes you racist if you do it out of context. So if you are looking for a candidate for a job and you're hiring somebody not based on their skills and their performance, but rather on certain boxes that are checked, that usually in today's modern age revolve around somebody's gender or race, then you know that's not very good diversity, right? So take United Airlines, case in point. And this is why I will always be suspect of anybody that is a DEI hire, no matter how good they do the job. So United Airlines announced that they were gonna use DEI to diversify their pilot fleet. And I don't know about you, but flying an airplane and pilots, along with doctors and policemen and firemen and all kinds of other people that may potentially hold my life in their hands, I want the best person doing that job. And, oh, careful, Fancy. I want the best person doing that job. And if I go into a situation where the person holding that job is a DEI hire, I don't care how good they are. I don't care what their qualifications are. I don't care anything other than the fact that they were hired because they checked off a bunch of arbitrary boxes. It was not performance-based, and I will always question their ability, no matter what. And that's not fair to me, and that's not fair to the person that was hired under those circumstances. You know? And if you're hiring somebody simply because they're black and not because they're the best pilot, then that's racist. That's 100% racist. You know? And they'll sit there and they'll tell you, well, he is the best candidate. Well, you can't prove that. You cannot prove that to me because you have already said that you have a different standard of hiring than based on the best performance. You know? And it's gotten to the point that our presumptive Democrat nominee is a DEI hire. You know, the only reason why she was picked to be vice president was because she checked all the boxes. It's not because she's the best candidate. In fact, by the Democrat voters' own admission, she was by far the worst candidate. You know, you could count the number of delegates that she got during the Dem primary in 2020 on one hand if all your fingers were cut off. That's how bad she is in the eyes of the Dems. And I, you know, there's a bit of schadenfreude there for me, laughing at the expense of others' pain. But I also feel sorry for Dem voters because they have to suck it up. And despite the fact that in 2020 they said no to Kamala Harris, and in the intervening 3.5 years, almost 4 years, she has proven time and again to be a frickin' disaster. They have to pretend now that she is the best candidate. And she is the most popular candidate. You know? And there's a part of me that really feels sorry for them. You know, they kind of did it to themselves by allowing the party to go the direction it went. But still, man. You know, what else? That's about it on DEI. You know, there's a couple other things I was thinking about. You know, I saw a screenshot from, I think it was MSNBC, may have been CNN, I don't know. But they were trying to show how out of touch Donald Trump is and how little support he has in the Republican Party. And they put a image up of notable GOPers that were not at the convention. And they were, let's see if I can remember, George Bush, Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan, and there was a fifth one. There was a fifth one that was another member of the deep state, you know, the globalist cabal that was in charge of the GOP. And I thought to myself, I said, man, and those guys aren't there. Trump must be doing something right. You know, those are the people that handed the reins of power in the early 2000s over to the raging liberals in the Democrat Party. And those are the people that got us into wars and warmongered all throughout the 2000s so far. And I thought, man, you know, maybe this is a really good thing that the turmoil in the GOP is finally coming to a head, and Donald Trump is the presumptive nominee. Oh, he is the nominee, I guess. But maybe the GOP is finally changing, and it may start reflecting the wants and views of the voters. I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. You know, even I've said it before, I'll say it again. There's no political solution here, and the only thing that Trump does is buy us time. But it can be time well spent, right? And then part of the reason why I think that I think there's no political solution to what's going on here is because I have lost all faith in the election process at the federal level. And the recent events over the past 4 or 5 days just put a nail in that coffin for me. You know, to anybody that pretends and anybody that lectures me on my democracy needs to shut the hell up, because they are supporting the very people that are destroying the electorate's faith in the system. I mean, let's look at it. So, the most popular president ever, who was the best and brightest a month ago, is now out. They are installing as their presumptive nominee a person who garnered 0 delegates when she ran in the primaries. She was selected as vice president because she checked all the proper boxes for them. She's a DEI hire, as I said before. You know, the will of people or the needs of the nation are not what caused what transpired last weekend with Joe Biden stepping aside in very strange circumstances with a lot of questions that need to be answered. But that's another topic, and I talked about that in the last morning walk. But as soon as he stepped out, record-breaking donations from the Dem donor class. So I have to assume, or I have to deduct. I'm not assuming anything. I'm deducting because I know this is a fact. You have to deduct from everything that transpired that the donor class is the one that pushed them to get Biden out of the way. And as soon as they were satisfied, they started rolling money into their coffers. You know. And yes, I admit, there's a whole lot of cynicism there on my part. But man, it is so well founded. It is so well founded. Oh, come on, Fance. Over here. One of the neighbors is coming out of their driveway, so I got to get the dog out of the way. Come on. Come over here. There you go. Good girl. But anyway, you know, my faith in it all has had a stake driven through its heart at this point. You know, I still believe that we can influence things locally through the voting process, but on a national level, yeah, no, it ain't gonna happen. You know. Well, we're almost back to the house. Nice leisurely walk this morning. Listen, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe, and I appreciate you guys making it to this part of the video. That you really do help the channel by letting the algorithm know that you like this kind of content by watching it. You know, share and give us a big thumbs up. go down and see our affiliates. Go check out our affiliates. There's some good ones in there. At least I think they are. We use them all ourselves. We use their products. We use their services. And we think it can save you money. Most importantly, no matter how cynical you are, no matter how disgusted in the process you are, remember this. We have it all in our hands. And the only way we can do it is by intentionally trying to fix the problem and going out every single day and living a life done free. Okay, guys, you take care. Thanks, Milo.